Welcome back to the Hillbilly RV channel. Today on this beautiful summer day here in southern West Virginia, we're going to be working on a Gerard water heater. If you follow my channel, you know how much I love tankless water heaters. This one here, we're going to change the copper box on. Gerard, probably knew that these copper boxes were going to freeze and bust, so they put it all the way in the back. So that means the water heater has to come out of the unit. We'll put it on a table over here. We have to completely disassemble the water heater, change the copper box, completely reassemble it, put it back in the camper. I'm not going to show you getting the water heater out of the camper. It's just like all my other water heater videos. If you need to know more about how to get it in and out, go watch one of those. Just going to take all these screws out. There's a gas line and there's some electric. Get all that out, and water lines, get all that unhooked. Water heater comes out and we put it on the table. I actually ran across a guy on YouTube very recently that tells all of his customers, he lives in a cold climate, tells all of his customers they need to get rid of their tank water heaters and put these tankless in, because you don't even have to winterize it. Well, I'm going to show you today that yes, you do need to winterize the water heater. So I don't know where that clown gets his information. He's supposed to be running a mobile service. Yeah, he tells his customers, oh, do away with that tank water heater, put a tankless in, they work great, you don't even have to winterize it. Idiot. Dude's an idiot. I'm telling you, right straight up. So yeah, let me get this thing apart, get everything unhooked on the back. We'll get her set on the table. I already set all this, right? Get her set on the table, I'll bring y'all back. So y'all just chillax for a little bit. That's all the screws that were holding it in the camper. I think they're afraid they're going to just fall out. Yeah, I know. They're just trying to keep the water out, right? There it is. There's what we was after. We got it out of the camper. Here's our copper box, our new one. Pretty, ain't it? Looks like a shiny new penny. Pretty. We're going to set this over here out of the way. Now we have like, I don't know, probably 30 more screws that have to come out of this case. The case just comes all apart. Then we can actually start changing the copper box. That's what Gerard calls it. Called a copper box. I mean, it's definitely copper. And it looks like a box, so I guess I get it. These are all machine bolts, machine screws, whatever. So like I said, I got about 30, 40 to take out. And then we get to start changing the copper box. I've never had this table in the truck before. I wanted to use it for this because I thought maybe I could get a little better video for you guys and gals. And I've got a job coming up where I think the table's going to come in handy. Who knows? I might just leave it on the truck. I think it's going to be a little more comfortable to work on than the back of the truck. I know it's more friendly to video. It's hard to get video when something's on the back of that truck and I'm trying to work on it. Really hard. Okay, I think that's everybody. Let's see. Nope. Nope. 3 more up here. Alright, now I think that's everybody. A little bit of sealer, I think maybe he's got us stuck. Yep, that's what it was. Come on, baby. There we are. Now, get that cover off. Now we can see the guts of the thing. And the bugs, everything else. So there's our copper box that we have to change. So we've got sensors, and we got some more sensors, and we got flow meters, and blah blah blah. Whole lot of stuff has to come apart here. Not much on that side, but yeah, it's got a lot more screws to take apart. And there's if I remember correctly, there's some, yeah, I know for a fact there's some screws back in here between this side of the case and the copper box. So you have to take the whole burner assembly out even. I mean, this thing has to be completely disassembled to change that copper box, which is really sad. Yeah. If you see water dripping, that's just me sweating. It's not raining, but it's raining in here. So I'm going to just keep taking screws apart. If you have to do this job, I mean, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Oh, here, I can show you. I can show you why you need to winterize a tankless water heater. Like I say, I don't know why that dude is on it, and his videos get a lot of views. He says you don't even have to winterize these things, so wonder what happened there if you don't have to winterize them. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to keep taking them stuff apart here. And this is not going to be a step-by-step how to do this. Like I say, if you get to the end of this, you're going to understand. You have to take every screw out of this thing. So let me continue tearing it apart, and I'll be back. All right, I got the blower and everything off the top. There's quite a few sensors. There's 3 sensors right here. One of them has blue wires, one has white wires. So I'm gonna take the screws out of these sensors to release them from the copper box, and I'm just gonna leave the wires on them, and I'm gonna write on here somewhere blue wires to the top, and the white to the bottom, so I'll know which sensor goes where. Like I say, we're changing the copper box anyway, so we have to take these sensors off here to put them on the new one. Try and leave as much stuff hooked up as I possibly can, just so it speeds up, you know, the reassembly process. Anything you can do to speed this up is going to be an advantage to you. Get a wrench and get that one off. And I've got some gas lines I gotta get off, some water lines, so we're carrying on. Oh yeah, and then you got a sensor don't want to come out. That's always good. Well, isn't that special? That's really nice. It's stuck in there. Well, isn't that awesome? Probably has a rubber seal on it too. Great. All right, I'm gonna keep struggling off camera and then I'll be back. Tell you, there's something that's always really frustrating about this job. I think this is only the second copper box I've ever changed. The other one was I don't know, probably a year ago. I told the customer ordered the copper box, and then she asked me if I would work on it for her. I told her I would. I said, but now you get a hold of Gerard and send him all the O-rings that we're gonna need for this. And they told her there ain't no O-rings. Well, that's not true at all. This sensor has an O-ring. That sensor has an O-ring. That O-ring looks terrible. It's actually split in half. Water goes in here, so if if that doesn't seal, and it's got to hold 50-55 pounds of water pressure, if that doesn't hold, then you're going to have a water leak. I mean, I went ahead and got O-rings for this stuff here, the water lines and stuff, because I knew there was O-rings in there. I'd forgot about these little sensors, but yeah, this is just it's a little bit aggravating. Gerard doesn't even know that these things have O-rings, or don't care, but they send you the copper box, but they don't send you all the O-rings that you're going to need, which is just ridiculous. These two sensors are identical other than their color, so I would expect that would be kind of important to get those back in the right place. So I marked the new copper box. The good thing is one has a black wires going to it and one has white wires, so it's pretty easy to mark it and hopefully get those back in the right place. That's what we're shooting for. We gotta get these water lines loose over here. Here and here, at least. Yeah, and these things are notorious to break these screws if these things freeze. And that one did not break, which is good. One good thing about it, if one of these screws is broke, this is the exact same screw as they use to hold that case together. So you got plenty of screws. You can rob one out of the case if you have to, which I thought was funny too. I asked them to go ahead and send me some of these screws just in case one of these was broke. They couldn't find screws and the parts broke down. I was like, well, they're there. He's like, yeah, we don't see them, so whatever. All right, I'm gonna carry on. All right, I believe we're ready to look at the copper box. There she is. You had trouble seeing that broken place before. There it is. What I love too is they put 3 screws in here over top of the burner assembly. They're virtually impossible to get to. I love it. So now we just get to reassemble everything and hope them little O-rings don't leak. If they do, it's not the end of the world. You can actually get to those from the door of the water heater. So if I have to come back with a couple little O-rings, put on those sensors, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, let me get reassembling here before I melt. All right, I have it all together except for the outer case. I'm going to test this thing real quick. Got the water hose over here, got water lines hooked up to it. We're going to test this to make sure these sensors aren't going to leak before I completely reassemble this thing, because it would definitely be easier to change these 2 O-rings on these sensors before I put the case on it, before I install it back in the RV. Yeah, it could be done, but it's pretty far back in there. So let's see what happens here. Well, that's hilarious. Put a valve on there, and the valve wasn't holding water. I know these things have an arrow on them, but I never really thought the arrow meant that much. Let's try it. Let's turn it around and see. So I'll have learned something today. I didn't know that. I always wondered why these valves have a arrow on them. Let's see what happens now. Well, there's why they have an arrow on them. Huh. Okay. I learned something. And hey, look at there. We're all dry. Everything's dry. Well, sweet. We'll give that thing a couple minutes there to make for sure. And then I'll put the case back on it. This thing, put it back in the camper and it'll be done. Well, that's all right. I had my doubts about this top one, that little sensor, because that O-ring actually just kind of broke in half. And I thought the 2 halves were going to stay on there, and I actually even lost that 1 half. But it's all dry. Everything dry. Well, awesome. And I learned something today. Those arrows on those valves actually mean something. Who would have thought? Cutoff valve's a cutoff valve, I always thought. No, these flare fittings, those flare valves have an arrow pointing which way the water's supposed to be flowing. So it's very important. I had no clue. I mean, I've always put them on the correct way. I didn't pay attention to this one because I just knew this was just a test. You know, just a piece of pipe I made up real quick to test it with. And it didn't really matter, but holy moly, it does matter. If you're gonna do this job, few recommendations I would make to you. Have you a little longer Phillips screwdriver. I bought several long Phillips screwdrivers years and years ago, number 2 Phillips. That's like, I don't know how long that is, but that's one of the shorter long ones. I've got them probably up to this long. I bought these years ago to work on generators, to adjust the governor on those marquee generators, because you had to reach across the top of the generator about 24 inches to adjust them. Have you a long screwdriver, number 2 Phillips, and get those O-rings for those sensors, those 2 sensors, little O-rings, probably a little square O-ring. I mean, when I called Gerard after the customer called Gerard. Gerard's like, yeah, there ain't no O-rings. And I called Gerard. I said, yeah, I need O-rings for this water heater. Yeah, we don't know what you're talking about. So I knew about the one that flow sensor. You know, it's bad about when these things freeze, it'll just pop it apart and it damages the O-ring. So I got that one, and that's the only one I could remember, because it'd been a year more since I'd done one of these. I forgot about those 2 little sensors. So, but these were held, so that's cool. The kind of pressure they got here, I mean, I put a pressure regulator on it, because I mean, they got crazy pressure. I put a pressure regulator on this thing while I was testing it, just to make sure I didn't pop anything, and it held no water. So it's back together. The only screws I have left are the ones that hold the water heater in the camper. This was all of my internal screws. It's empty, so that must mean we're done. So let me slide this thing back in this hole over here and button it all up, and then we'll watch it work. It's all back together. All but a little bit of sealer around this door will be done. Y'all hang out here. I'm gonna go cut the water on, and we'll see if this bad boy lights. Fan come on, striking, and she lit. So we should have hot water in here. Let's go see. I'll just take y'all with me. What do you think? Huh? Oh. Oh yeah, can y'all feel that? Woo! Nice hot water. Yeah, nice hot water there for a tankless water heater. So I know this is not a step-by-step how to change a copper box, but if you have to do this job and you've never done this job, I think you can watch this video. And people get on me all the time because I don't show each and every detail. But people, I'm telling you, if you watch the video and you do this job yourself, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about at all times, because it should be real self-explanatory. If you've got any mechanical ability whatsoever, this stuff should be pretty obvious to you. And if you don't have any more mechanical ability than that, maybe you should hire somebody. But yeah, don't you hire anybody to go down in that comment section for you. You go down there yourselves, leave me a comment, a criticism, a concern. Don't forget my website, www.worldwideweb.hillbillyrv.net. A lot of stuff going on there. Sign up for the email. I'll spam you. I'll sell that email to China, to Moscow, to the whole of Russia. No, I won't do that to you. Just sign up for the email. I'm gonna start. I've got several people signed up now, so I'll start sending emails maybe once, twice a month. As soon as I figure out how to do it, let you know what's happening, what's coming up, what's going to happen. Well, that's the same as what's coming up, right? But yeah. Well, it's been a long day, and I want to go home. So I really suggest that wherever y'all at, whatever you're doing, have a fantastic day and enjoy the day, and just enjoy yourself. That's all I got. See y'all later.